Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Krusty Kast, the only podcast tastier than a weird, drippy soufflé.
That's solid.
Yeah.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Gwen.
There's
And
nobody
no one
else
else
here.
Yeah.
I'm,
There's three of us. Just three of us. Three.
Okay.
Anyway, today
anyway.
we're going to be talking about the Season 1 episodes, Naughty Nautical Neighbors, and Boating School.
two really exciting ones to talk about.
Yeah. We have the first appearance of Mrs. Puff. We have Squidward ass. We have a lot of ground to cover, so are we ready, kids?
Takes a lot of ground to cover Squidward's ass.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's...
Yeah.
Okay, so we were just trying to, edit out a segment, and we have this image that, we pop on screen every time you want to, go AFK for a bit. But there was an image next to it that I accidentally turned on, and it was this. Why is this still here in my, list?
Why does Squidward have a red aura around him?
He's
This
so
is a war
powerful.
memorial, and you're laughing.
Oh, my apologies, Mr. Squidward.
Back to it.
My apologies, Mr. Squidward.
So I think let's just dive on in,
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah, let's dive into the sea and talk about neighbors that are naughty and nautical.
When the neighbors are naughty and nautical.
The neighbors are so naughty and nautical in this one.
They're
So,
bad,
spoiler
it's not even
alert,
funny.
but I loved this one. I think this is maybe the best episode we've reviewed thus far.
Yeah.
Up there, for sure.
I had
Super-
so much fun with this one.
Yeah,
Super funny.
it's definitely a very fun episode. Let's get right into it.
So
Yeah.
how's this open?
It opens with Squidward being a massive little fruit.
Yeah, he has his gay little suit, his gay little toupee.
He has before that he wears his gay little apron that says "Kiss the Squid," and he's like, "Oh, you made such a wonderful soufflé," and then he puts on the gayest suit ever just to eat his little soufflé by himself.
I want to bring up this animation thing where he flees off screen, and then you see all of his clothes fly out from that side of the screen, including socks. He doesn't wear socks, but
I mean,
you know.
he's fashionable. He can,
and then you see
he's
a
ready for any
shower
occasion.
cloud.
Yeah, the shower cloud and the
takes a shower. God, he's so
Yeah.
he's serving in this episode.
the wave
He
of
really
shaved
is.
scum he has there too.
Let's also just talk about his souffle with the little Squidward on top
Yeah,
yeah.
and
hold
the
on.
backdrop for his souffle top.
the little topper I'm assuming he made of himself in on a throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like
He
how all
lived
this is
luxuriously.
shaded.
I wish I could live like Squidward. He really has it figured out, except for the torture.
Hey, hang on a second. I just realized something.
Yeah.
That bassinet he's got there, that's foreshadowed
Oh.
here. That'll come into
Yeah.
play later.
Oh my god.
Holy
Is a
shit, this
bassinet
really
even a
is
real
the best
instrument?
episode. It has
Or is that just-
foreshadowing and everything.
Is a bassinet even a real thing, or is that just something they made up for SpongeBob? I guess I could just
Real?
look this up, but it's real.
It-
Okay,
it's-
Sure,
cool.
it's real.
It's a
Okay,
classic
it's a
instrument.
real word, but it's not actually the name of an instrument. I think it's a string bass, and
Oh yeah, I'm looking up
SpongeBob calls it
bassinet.
a bassinet, which is a cradle for holding
Yeah,
babies.
a baby crib. Hold on.
That is a very obscure joke.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think
that's
it's a classic
that's
instrument.
cool.
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. Anyway,
And
It's fun.
he's eating this, no pants, nothing, dressed to the nines.
And he never wears pants, so it's not that unusual.
It's more noticeable when he's wearing shoes, though.
This is true. It makes him look
Yeah.
very. It has the fucking absolute territory effect.
He's just about to enjoy his souffle. He's loving it.
Can you talk about the purple stuff? It'll be more plot relevant in a second, but I just want to talk about the purple stuff a little
Yeah,
bit.
the purple
The weird
stuff starts coming out of the
souffle
souffle.
juice.
Yeah, I don't
know what that is, but I always really wanted to eat it.
Yeah.
Do souffles drip stuff like that?
Hold on, has anyone made Squidward souffle? I'm
Hopefully.
looking this up.
Are we looking up
Souffle.
a Babish?
But yeah, this like
Has
purple stuff has
anyone-
always been like one of like why does anime food look so good? I wish I could eat hashtag girl dinner. Me.
That's something for me later in this episode where I'm like,
Yeah.
I really want to have some of that.
Mm.
I found one low quality image. Sorry, Windows 10 sound. That's fine.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
It's
me
just
neither.
the viewers will. Anyway, I found one image, but it's like really low quality, and I think it's like just clay or something.
I think this is like a cake that's just caked with fondant and probably tastes
Yeah,
like plastic.
yeah. Fondant
Yeah.
is just.
To be fair, I think Squidward would
eats, like-
absolutely like make a cake that's just 80% fondant.
Oh, here's one.
I'd like to think he has more taste than that, frankly.
This is what Squidward's souffle will look like in the booster course pass wave
Oh my
6.
God, do I have to open up Facebook for this? Okay, there we go. There's the souffle.
Welcome to our deep dive on Squidward's gay little souffle.
Yeah, here we go. There's one.
That looks a little
Kinda,
bit better.
I think
Oh,
so.
nice.
It looks
Yeah.
like it has actual food in it this time.
Yeah, no purple juice though.
Yeah, it
0
looks
to
pretty
10.
dry. Let me
How
look
you-
up something.
Yeah.
Do
You can't just Google souffle trivia for the whole episode.
this is important.
There's-
This is
And-
important.
This is our
Souffles.
first ever souffle trivia episode.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is going to be a regular feature
There's
of the
another one.
podcast from here on. Good
Let me
luck.
just line all of these up in a row here.
Okay, I looked it up, and no, souffles aren't supposed to do that.
What did he do?
He just poured a bunch of grape soda on it.
You fucked
Maybe
up.
he wanted that to emulate the water or something. I don't know.
I guess it was supposed to be the water, but like, I guess he does like his soda too.
Yeah.
As we'll see later.
Anyway, Squidward's eating his souffle, but before he gets to enjoy it, he gets interrupted by a couple of annoying little pests outside.
Yeah.
They're just having fun, and Squidward's like seething and mauling like this entire first part of the episode.
Fucking bad. Also, I don't know why he's so upset about this, considering their activities involves like giggling and whispering, which are very quiet noises. But
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
literally being as quiet and undisruptive as they possibly could be, and
God.
he's just like so mad about it.
they're just so petty. I think this works a lot better than like jellyfishing as like this genre of episode about Squidward,
yeah,
Patrick.
absolutely.
SpongeBob.
'Cause, like,
Yeah.
He really did bring this on himself in this episode, and it's
Yeah, he's
pretty
just-
low stakes for the most part until like the end, which still is like comedic.
He's just being
Yeah.
an
not
asshole.
miserable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
just-
deserves this.
He's such a prick in this episode. It's so good. It makes the
So-
storyline work a lot better.
Something that I want to bring up is the backyards, specifically Patrick's, where he has a
Yeah.
grill back there. Does he cook out?
He has a garbage can too.
I mean, we're gonna see the grill in like the card. I remember.
Oh my god, you're right. I
oh
forgot
my
about
God,
that. Foreshadowing.
Sadly-
This
Yeah.
This
I
is
think that's
epic.
the only episode where they use it.
This was always the plan.
That's like some season 14 level bringing back something from the early episodes.
Patrick's
God.
grill fans were eating good in that episode.
I love just how mundane SpongeBob and Patrick's fun is here. They're just blowing bubbles and saying, "Hi, SpongeBob."
Yeah.
This is
Wait,
what
why
it's
did I
like.
say "Hi, SpongeBob" in SpongeBob's voice?
This is this is what it's like being friends with people on Discord, though.
Yeah.
You just DM your friends like,
Really?
"Hi, you're my friend."
Hi.
This is like the like bikini bottom equivalent of sending someone like a dancing pretty cure gif or whatever people do.
Oh,
They're just
oh,
having
oh.
fun. They're friends. Ah,
Your friends.
I just found that's a good brow. That's a good SpongeBob brow. It's got
Oh,
like
wow.
Yeah, SpongeBob makes some really good faces in the second,
He's
but
he's
yeah.
he's got
It's
the
so
Donkey
good.
Kong brow there.
And as we mentioned, Squidward, he's seething with rage over the most innocuous thing two guys can do. So he uses his soufflé juice to create evil bubbles.
Instead of like telling them to like stop like a normal person would,
Yeah.
he concocts like some kind of
Evil
chemical
schemes.
psychological warfare against them.
Yeah, whatever like depraved juice he stuck in his souffle, whatever it can like make bubbles, but the bubbles are like really warbly and weird and like sentient.
He made his
Yeah.
souffle with evil ingredients, and that's why it can do this. He alchemized this cursed dessert.
How
That's
did he
the thing.
do this?
All
And
the
it-
soufflé recipes are lacking the evil ingredient.
No.
And that's why none of them are wet.
This scans because the souffle turns on its master in a little while.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Also, I really like how this is like such a like SpongeBob logic thing where like you just kind of accept that they can like talk using bubbles somehow. Like I guess this is their version of like cell phones or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like if you can also like blow like purple bubbles with your purple juice to imitate someone.
And I just love the
Like-
idea of this activity. Like they could just hang out like near each other and talk, but no, they decided let's both sit in our backyards and just like whisper into bubbles that we're best friends with each other. I just think that's really nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like a surreal, a little bit contrived feeling plot thing, but it feels just really like silly and fun also, and I think it works really well. It kind of
It
makes me
works
think
well.
like
It's like
later on they
feel
tried
like
to like do similar stuff, and then we'd get like stuff like whirly brains, where it's like, oh, this is the wacky SpongeBob version of drones, and it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
it's interesting because like despite the fact that this
Oh.
could feel contrived, it really doesn't to me. It just feels like
Yeah, they do this.
I just never really
Yeah.
question it. It's just something
Yeah.
SpongeBob and Patrick do for fun.
Yeah, it just
And
invites you
it
into their
works.
silly world.
Yeah. It works for setting up this storyline where
Anyway.
Squidward uses his evil bubbles to
Where he
insult
casts a
SpongeBob.
dark incantation to ruin their friendship.
Yeah.
And yeah, SpongeBob makes some like really good faces in this one. He's like confused and distressed. I
Yeah.
also love how like weird and stupid all of Squidward's like insults are.
I love
Yeah.
I love
God.
Squidward's Patrick voice.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds
If
very
I
much like-
had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1.
It sounds like, for example, someone doing a Wario voice that doesn't really track as well as you think it would.
Yeah. It does kind of sound.
We'll leave
like
it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, SpongeBob and Patrick get mad at each other, and I also like how similarly like dumb and like juvenile feeling their dialogue is, where they're like, "You're a turkey. What's that? That's
It's
what
what
you
you
are. Oh, you're a bigger one."
It's Squidward.
That makes you a big. No, wait, hold on. I didn't write down like the names, so I keep getting SpongeBob and Patrick's dialogue mixed up here. And that makes you a big dummy, you dummy! No, wait, I had it right the first time. I am on a roll today.
You don't
yeah.
you don't doubt yourself.
That makes you a big dummy, you dummy!
So-
Yeah, well, that means that, so are you!
So Squidward puts
The
on his
dialogue here is
dis-
so like sublime. It's so charming.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have made like these characters like fighting like this really unpleasant, but it just feels really silly.
It's because
Yeah,
it's so
and
like
I think that's-
juvenile and low intensity.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps this episode, because it's like, I think there's this thing where it's making the characters annoying to each other without making them annoying to the audience,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is something I
for
think
sure.
can be sort of difficult to balance, and I think this episode does it very well.
Mhm.
So Squidward pulls up a chair and puts on his like discourse visor or something as he watches them like go at it.
So he
He's
can
like-
just
he's having a
watch
day of it.
SpongeBob and Patrick's.
Also,
He has so many good looks in this episode. He wants to watch SpongeBob and Patrick's petty juvenile
this
argument.
episode's kind of about SpongeBob breaking Patrick's trust.
Well, you're still yellow, and you know what else is yellow?
What?
You are!
Anyway, yeah, they just storm
Anyway.
off and go home, and Patrick accordions, and then like Squidward.
Patrick
Then we
becomes
get the most
flat,
horrific
right?
scene in all of Nickelodeon animation. Oh, before that, we have to talk about the ass, I guess, or else Jasmine
Let's
will
talk
kill
about
me.
the ass in the room. I like that. I like that.
Squidward, yeah!
The one Squidward face was still layered on top of that, so it's kind of a reaction shot.
Yeah.
Live Squidward reaction to his own ass.
Yeah, that's how he would react.
Honestly, I think like every face of this episode is like perfect. The animators went crazy on this one.
This episode has
Yeah.
such good drawings. Shout out to the storyboarders and artists and animators.
So
Anyway-
yeah, we're here.
Yeah, scariest scene in all of animation, by the way.
Yeah.
This shit gave me like panic as a kid. I'd always like leave the room when this scene came on because I didn't want to watch this.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
fucking like it makes such like distressing noises, and so like the zoom in with like the bit being blocked. It's so like it feels
Yeah.
so like painful to look at, and his eyes like rolling back. It's a KO. I didn't know what that meant as a kid. I just know that Squidward is in serious danger.
Like,
I
and I
think
was scared to eat with
This
forks
is another
for a
one of
while.
the episodes I had on VHS as a kid, and
Yeah.
I think that as a kid, my interpretation was that KO was the opposite of okay.
Oh my
That's what I
god!
thought
We were
too.
doing terrible.
I fucking did that too.
This is our second ever Squidward asphyxiation episode, which
Yeah.
makes
And he
of
makes the
somebody
same
who just
sound.
goes, ugh, another
Ooh.
Squidward asphyxiation episode.
You know, there's a lot of
This
like
one is-
characters asphyxiating in these early episodes.
But see, this one's more brutal than probably any of the other ones because SpongeBob's was kind of a slow burn and they didn't really linger on it in Reef Blower. But we see this guy choke literally to death.
Yeah, we get a lot. It's very like intense.
Like he's
Anyway.
in pain, not even
Yeah.
comedic pain. Whoa, Squidward, you're choking!
Squidward, you're choking. He's so like happy about it for some reason. It feels like he just thinks it's cool. It's such a funny delivery.
Huge
Squidward-
shout out to the voice actors in this episode.
Squidward is just flat out dead here because he's blue and he's not moving
Mhm.
like at all.
I know
Like
what
he-
I should do, but I should wash my hands first. Oh well.
Then he
Let's talk
blows
about
him
This
up.
is
Patrick.
another.
Patrick can deliver CPR. That's one of his like skills. Let's
We-
talk
we-
about this.
Yeah.
We learn in both
Okay,
of these
so-
episodes that Patrick is really skilled at a good few things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This makes me think of in the Weird Mario Enemies awful Discord channel, where one of the channels we have is do expect mouth-to-mouth gifs, and I think one of the
Oh,
only
yeah.
gifs in there is
Yeah, this-
Patrick doing
I thi-
CPR on Squidward.
I think I made that channel.
I think you did.
God.
And I love Patrick's little I
I
win
win!
at the end. It's
We also
so
get like the whole
good.
like bizarre sequence where he like inflates Squidward and his suckers inflate one by one, which is
Yeah.
not the end of the inflation in this episode. And then we get like
Oh.
disgusting shriveled corpse Squidward, and Patrick wins.
Yeah.
The whole like delivery of Patrick's "I win" reminded me a lot of like an early series Homer Simpson thing he'd say and do.
God, yeah,
I won!
Woo!
it's kind of a woohoo.
And so Patrick saves Squidward's life, and Squidward is like genuinely grateful for him.
Yeah, he calls him his friend, and he doesn't even like really take it back. He's like, "We're just friends."
Yeah, says that we're just friends, like right when it
Oh,
looks
boy.
like when SpongeBob is spying on them and it looks like they're holding hands. So
Yeah,
this whole
like,
episode is like a gay
SpongeBob's
allegory.
expression is
such a
so
love
funny.
triangle episode. Yeah, really good, like, fucking SpongeBob in his cave.
What I dubbed his sadness room, because he's just really sad in this big, empty, dark room every time
Yeah.
we cut back to him.
This
Is
is like-
that another pants room dimension?
I think it's a part of it.
I
It's
think
a
this is like-
subsection.
The Pants Room Dimension version of, like, his locked vent Twitter with a black and white icon.
Gone.
Nothing.
I also really like how Patrick acts here, where he's like, seems like he's mostly doing this to get at SpongeBob and make him jealous, and he's like, he likes to look at SpongeBob and makes a smug face. He's like, well, let's get, what are we gonna do, best friend? I think it's interesting, especially like contrasting with how SpongeBob acts a little later on.
Yeah.
And then there's this like weird little scene where we're still in SpongeBob's house and he's talking to Gary, and he just kicks a shell and it's hollow. Where's Gary at?
We do see his like slime, like his blue at the bottom.
Oh, so he tried to get away from SpongeBob then?
He's just retracted.
He doesn't want
Oh.
to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's dead.
Yeah, either are.
Maybe he choked on a fork.
Either or.
The next
This
one is
episode
you,
in the
Gary.
This episode in the SpongeBob timeline is after every other episode with Gary.
Yeah,
And
it's a Snowball 2 situation.
I mean, this might take place before he meets Sandy, though, because he doesn't mention Sandy as his friend. His only friends are
that's true.
the gang's all here.
Yeah.
This is just such a genuinely sad scene because he starts like tearing up and he's like so distraught about it. It's like poor
I love-
SpongeBob.
So yeah, Patrick tries to impress Squidward by just listening to him on clarinet.
Yeah, E-minor!
I love how Patrick just... He's so excited and has no idea.
He's so cute in this, and then he just instantly falls
He really
asleep.
is. Yeah.
And then Squidward has to drag him out.
I
And,
like-
he
like-
throws out his back.
Squidward's reaction to Patrick falling asleep too is he just like looks and he looks sort of mad, but mostly like this is what he expected. He just kind of looks disappointed.
Yeah, and then Squidward throws it back.
Squidward throws it back.
Oh, my back.
And then SpongeBob seizes an opportunity to collect on a life debt.
No, see, like this one, I feel like it's SpongeBob. Like unlike Patrick, who like tries to like rub it in, SpongeBob like just sees Squidward in need and like goes to help him. I really like the sequence where just like a really short, funny escalation sequence where SpongeBob like is suddenly like wearing a bathing suit and jumps off
Yeah.
a diving board to help Squidward.
Another thing I've noticed about both of these two episodes is that neither of them really have gags that go on forever,
Yeah.
which is really refreshing. Everything feels very snappy and well paced in like both of these episodes.
So it's very solidly paced.
Hey, look
I
at
was
him,
gonna
he's
say,
okay.
yeah.
He's
feel like-
okay.
I feel like Squidward,
So-
I feel like SpongeBob, like, well, Patrick was just like rubbing in his friendship with Squidward. SpongeBob like genuinely wants to be friends with Squidward anyway, so he like is just happy that he's Squidward's friend. And meanwhile, Squidward's like learned that he can't call either of these people his friend, or else they'll like latch onto him like a remora.
I'll do
So
this.
something that... So this is a very small note, but why is Squidward's neck so twisted when he turns back to look at
Yeah.
SpongeBob?
Yeah, let me
Put that on
take that
screen.
image. Yeah, hold on. I gotta download this. Squidward.
Like Squidward's like so, so expressive in this
He's so
episode. I
fucked
guess.
up. Yeah, let me just... Yeah, there we go. He's...
This is the frame they had on the wiki, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
yeah.
He's a spider now.
Yeah. Nightmare
And
World.
so they go up to Squidward's art room, and SpongeBob wants to play Squidward. I like that Squidward is like genuinely interested at the prospect
You
of SpongeBob
play?
being able to play an instrument.
Yeah.
It's a nice
And
little
on that
dynamic
note,
moment.
I have a question. Is this just a better version of the gag from Jellyfishing where SpongeBob tries to play his Squidward's clarinet for him?
Yes.
I was thinking that it
It's
feels
way
like just a
better.
better version of that, where the joke is like SpongeBob's playing badly, but this one, like, the joke doesn't go on too long. It isn't like as disgusting to listen to, and it's just really funny. And the joke is more just like it's just a really good joke, and also it has a really funny Squidward screaming in a horror picture joke.
Squidward liked Patrick more than SpongeBob.
I can fix this.
I love SpongeBob just violently strumming on the guitar.
Like he is so fucking
Patrick interrupts.
he is so fucking pissed off in this moment. I think this is the angriest we've seen SpongeBob like so far.
SpongeBob's fucking inner rage.
I love
Yeah,
his
it's
face.
like
here.
SpongeBob.
Oh,
He activates his
I love
EX
the occasional episodes that let SpongeBob get mad.
he's looking directly at us here.
We're next.
He's talking to us.
You're gonna fucking get it, Krusty Kast. And so Squidward's pissed off, and he needs to put a stop to this.
No, he has to take a bath.
Oh yeah,
He
he wants to go take a
I
bath.
love he kicks SpongeBob out of his house, and SpongeBob's just like, I'll see you tomorrow, Squidward. Call me.
And I noticed at this point, for like the rest of the episode, or at least for a chunk of it, there's no roads or driveways in front of the houses. That's just a weird little animation thing that I noticed that means nothing.
And so
Oh
this
yeah,
is our
Patrick's in his
first view-
bathtub.
This is our first view of the bathroom, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
This
you're
is kind of
right.
a classic Squidward location. We get to
It's
see a
where-
lot of Squidward bathing in this show.
Yeah, that's where we'll see him being busy spoiling himself later on.
See, I'm
Yeah.
busy soiling myself.
And then all these wacky characters will visit him in his bathroom and disrupt it.
Yeah.
Well, this episode already has a wacky character in his bathroom. And
Yeah,
it's
just the genuine scream from Squidward there. He's so afraid.
put some clothes on!
I warped it up for you.
This episode just has such like good, memorable dialogue. All the characters are so funny.
My
My
best
best
friend
friend.
and my
Ex-best
ex-best
friend.
friend and rubber bath toys.
Patrick's expressions in the bathtub are really good.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just so like content and happy and like inviting, but in an intimidating way. He feels like a mob boss almost.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were Squidward, I'd get in the bathtub.
I wouldn't.
Hey, I'd be busy spoiling myself, frankly.
Yeah.
It's like a demon facing down another demon.
Oh yeah, and Squidward's just in the garbage now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he screams and runs away into the garbage can, which
Putrid
he'll
moldy
need a
man and
bath
stuff.
after being in there. Luckily, Patrick warmed it up for him.
Anyway, now we get to the climax of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where
I wanna
Squidward
talk about the
sends
book.
them.
Hold on,
Huh?
I wanna
Oh, yeah.
talk about this because obviously they haven't introduced Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy yet, but
Oh, yeah.
so I'm not obviously
it's
Let
clearly
me
a
see where this
comic.
is in the production order, just compared to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, because now I'm curious. This
Anyway.
episode, okay, it was produced before Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Yeah.
there were at least ideas though.
Oh
at
yeah,
that
for
point. They
sure.
were
Yeah.
in the pitch. Yeah.
I mean,
This
yeah,
seems to so much foreshadowing.
yeah, right.
It foreshadows the card by having the grill, and it foreshadows the card by having Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Wait, okay, what the
Everything in the series leads up to the card.
I wanna post a screenshot of a shot in here because I'm not where is he reaching this from? Because like I did
He's throwing it back again.
This is why he has so many back issues. He just keeps doing this shit.
And
I think
so,
you can tell how much we like an episode based on how many pictures end up in the collage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I like is the accompanying music when the letters are being sent to SpongeBob. It's so pleasant. I love when that song comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check what that song's called.
And then he takes a whiff of the letter and he's like Squidward. He's got
That
the
was kind of
Squidward
weird, but
scent.
you know.
He's like a bloodhound. He has the Squidward scent.
Yeah, okay.
And
The
I imagine
song
Squidward probably
that-
wears like a lot of like fragrant perfume or something because he's such a little trollop.
It seems the song that plays when Squidward gives SpongeBob the letter is Hawaiian Train. So,
I like that.
Cool.
yes.
And then SpongeBob is invited. Squidward invites the vampire into his home.
But
Come
You
on
have
in.
the classic sitcom plot where like these two characters are fighting, so we need to have them go on a date to make up.
Come on in. You look dashing.
No, you look stunning.
Oh, stunning. That's right.
He was so gay for that too.
Yeah.
Squidward's really gay in this episode. That's how it is.
In case you
But
didn't
he
notice,
is still just friends with Patrick.
of course.
Another thing I really like, a line that stuck out to me, is when SpongeBob screams, "I'm not sitting near that maniac."
So brutal.
He's so much hate in his heart right now.
And I think that only makes it so much better how petty the inciting incident is.
Yeah. He was told that if he had $1 for every brain, $1, that would make anyone go Joker. We get the like soda moment. Let's talk about the soda.
Yeah.
This right here, this is what I was talking about with like the anime food looks delicious. I wanted to drink this soda so bad as a kid. It looked so fucking refreshing.
I had the
Yeah.
opposite reaction. I thought the soda looked so weird. It looked so like watery and flavorless.
I want Squidward's soda dispenser.
And he has a very nice soda dispenser. I don't know why I didn't realize he was so into like these fancy bubbly sodas.
Yeah.
It makes sense with how fruity he is that he'd love to have just like sparkling waters around his home at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good frame.
And then
And I love how, like, so SpongeBob and Patrick have to fight over the soda.
I like the part where like Patrick's like not getting
Patrick,
it.
you already
And
got
this
some.
one's just like, here you go.
And he gets like mad.
But
he's so fucked up and petty in this scene right here.
Yeah.
so when he's just weirdly generous to Patrick, I think it's even funnier.
Yeah.
That's just like a big like fuck you. Squidward's gonna give me more soda. You can have my leftovers.
All he wants is Squidward's attention. He doesn't actually want the soda.
Yeah.
I guess it's a funny reason for this episode to escalate, because I kind of don't get the ending of this episode. They drink so much soda that they're just like these big inflated blobs.
I do like the joke of Patrick reaching out for more soda, but like his glass is already full and like bubbling over.
Mm-hmm.
That one always got a laugh out of me as a kid.
I do, never mind.
Yeah, we get like
Yeah.
Sponge Blob and Patrick inflation.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as being extremely hydrated.
I guess it's congruent with how SpongeBob biology works in later episodes. Anyway, Squidward has to go to the store to get more soda. Apparently, he was just gonna have them drink soda all day. And then he leaves them alone, and they start like burping little bubbles, and that immediately makes them friends again.
Here's what I don't get about this episode. They never find out that it was Squidward fucking with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they kind of don't need to. I feel like we don't need to make this like a lie reveal episode. I feel like what's important is that like they're friends again, and it makes. I guess it's like sweet that like really all they have to do is like sit down together and have like the stupidest fun, and they'd immediately be friends.
Yeah,
But also,
that's
I don't get the
correct.
whole like the way it happens is Squidward inflates them, and they burp bubbles, and then it explodes his house, and they're friends again.
I think it was just for like the bubble thing to come back, and How
Yeah,
else were you
that's what I
gonna
was
have like
thinking.
that come full circle? Then like I I don't know.
It feels like it isn't a very like satisfying delivery on the bubble motif, though. I feel like it'd been funny if like he like ripped out a bubble and it popped. He's like, Patrick, I wish you were my friend again.
Oh,
That's
that
fair,
would have
yeah.
been
Right.
yeah.
But instead, it's kind of feels like I mentioned before the opening could be seen as contrived, but it comes off as like silly. This one I feel like should come off as like sillier, but to me personally, this comes off as like nonsense.
Yeah. Oh
A
well.
little underwhelming and like, hey, we need an ending to this episode.
Yeah, and like
That's fair.
Squidward's house explodes and gets hit by the
Ow!
door.
No!
I do like how Patrick's like I think he's jealous. How pathetic.
I liked Squidward's I should just walk away right now.
Yeah, it's really good
Yeah.
line.
Squidward's just so good in this episode.
Yeah, and like his comeuppance is like really cartoony, all things
Yeah.
considered. It's a lot less brutal than like him getting decimated by a jellyfish for being a little sarcastic to SpongeBob and Patrick earlier that day.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
actively being a dick here, and like he pays for it the whole episode in like really cartoony, funny scenarios. I think that's what really does
Yeah.
it here.
He just gets doored.
Yeah, it works a lot better as a storyline. This is just like it's another like Patrick, SpongeBob, Squidward trio episode. It feels a lot similar to Jellyfish in that, but it feels like a lot more refined version of jellyfishing.
Yeah. This is what jellyfishing strived to be. This is good jellyfish. This is great jellyfishing. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I love this one so
It's
much.
great.
Like, I said it already, I think this might be my favorite episode of the season thus far. So,
Same.
sorry to this episode that we have pizza delivery next week.
Oh.
Which is that one's gonna be
You can enjoy being the best episode of season 1 until then.
yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, I really liked it. I think it might still be, like, a top 5 episode from season... That's the thing. Like, going into it, I knew it would be good, but I think it sort of impressed me with how good it was.
Yeah, I
it's
definitely
kind of
was a little
sleeper.
surprised by this one. Yeah, sleeper is a good way to
Yeah.
put it. You have
Like,
your thoughts,
I definitely
Maddie?
thought it was, like, good, but nothing mind... But I was just surprised. It's very quotable. The character dynamic works really well. I just think it hits all the marks I want from a SpongeBob episode. I think I can agree with you that the story structure could have been a little more solid, but I think it works as just a vehicle for these gags, and I think the story concept's really and like, so I had to debate with a second. Is this the first episode I give a 7 out of 7? Because that feels like sort of an elusive score, but I also don't want to make it like too elusive. I don't
Right.
know.
Makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
like, watching this episode, I couldn't think of a lot I could actively criticize about it, and most of the stuff I felt like I could would be like small nitpicks and not stuff that
Yeah.
actively bothered me. So,
Mhm.
I think that for that, I'm gonna give it a low 7, but I still feel content to say this is the first episode I'm willing to give that rating. You gotta set the bar somewhere. I'm setting the bar at Naughty Nautical Neighbors.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I gave it a 7 as well. I think it's just a really solid episode overall. All the jokes hit. Squidward chokes again. Lots of good faces, lots of good moments. I think it yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah,
Fine.
well, I'm gonna look like a fucking hater because I was not as completely in love with this episode. I still, like, enjoyed a lot of it. I really like the character dynamics. I think this episode, like, absolutely nails the trio here and what makes them fun to watch and gives them, like, the dialogue is great, the interplay between them is great. And I think it's, like, a really funny episode consistently up until the end. The episode, I think the ending of the episode,
Fair.
like, is what brings it down. It could have been a 6 or maybe a 7 for me, but like the ending is just like a little bit too weak for me to like pull it out of a 5. But it's a very like high 5 for me. It's like a very good episode, just with one major flaw in my eyes. It
That's
doesn't quite
fair.
stick the landing for me. But it's respect the hell out of you, Triple N.
I gave it a 6 out of 7. I'm a little hesitant to really give like anything a 7 out of 7 because I this episode came the closest so far though. I also wrestled with a 6 or a 7, but I decided that the episode it was a little too it wasn't really like dynamic. It wasn't like the biggest joke fest compared to like episodes that we'll see in like later seasons here, ones that I would give a 7 out of 7. But I think like an A+ 6 out of 7 like season 1 episode is still like cream of the crop, especially compared to like most of the stuff we've seen so far, and I'm pretty comfortable saying it's the best one we've seen this far.
Yeah.
And
Is that
that's my
all?
piece. Yeah, that's my piece.
Yeah.
Alright. So shall we move
Alright.
on to the intermission?
Yes.
Perhaps we shall.
Alrighty. So what's on the Alright. So what's on the docket for today, Jasmine?
So, recently we got a huge list of episode titles and synopses from season 14 of SpongeBob, and I just want to sit down and discuss some of these because there's some interesting stuff in here, I think. And also some that seem less interesting, but they can't all be winners.
Have some mid-bob in there.
Yeah.
So I
It's
guess
season
we're just
14. We can't get bangers non-stop like, I'd be impressed if any show was producing non-stop bangers in season 14, you know?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah,
we're
so
just
we
going
have-
to review them based on how we think they'll turn out.
Yeah.
We'll give some like speculation.
Yeah.
Spongulation,
So-
if you will.
I don't think I
Do we
will.
just start from here?
Fair enough.
Sure.
Okay, so first we have 294A, single-celled defense. Sick of being stepped on, Plankton learns self-defense from Sandy. So the first thing that stood out to me about this one is we have a lot of episodes where a random character learns karate. I feel like we're just kind of going down the list now. We had the Plankton learns karate episode. We had the Squidward learns karate episode.
Yeah, I was
Did
gonna
I say-
say.
And I meant Patrick.
Mr.
Yeah.
Krabs is gonna learn it in 14 or 15.
Didn't we already have like this?
Yeah.
Sounds like exactly like Squid Defense,
Yeah.
but like
It's
on the
like-
oth- yeah.
I'm interested in getting more of the Plankton Sandy dynamic. That's not one we see a lot of,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
But
Yeah, I was gonna
usually
say, they
you
make a
see
fun
it
duo.
more. Usually you see
Yeah.
it more leaning towards like how they both like science and like inventions and shit. But
yeah.
they do
Yeah.
have that episode in season 7, Perfect Chemistry.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sandy is gonna use this to get the Plankton's wife.
Surely.
So that's the thing. We could use more. Let's get the Karen karate episode.
That'd be
in season
awesome.
16.
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah.
Computer
Mrs. Puff.
karate or whatever.
No, it has to have defense in the title like the other ones do.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? I feel like the Windows antivirus has.
Yeah, Windows
Defender. Windows Defender.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Karen Defender Firewall. So 294B, Buff for Puff. Mr. Krabs steps out of his shell and into the gym after Larry shows him up at the beat.
This is what we're getting like
Why?
ripped pants with a different straight couple.
The first thing
Big
that
Larry's
came
gonna
up to
come
me is,
round.
are we getting 2 episodes in a row about just characters working out?
Yeah.
Oh god.
But step out, Michelle. Does it mean literally we're gonna get another Naked Crabs episode?
I hope so.
Oh,
I know this
God.
episode's like gonna have a lot of like shots of disgusting, bulging, veiny muscles. So get ready for that.
Mr. Krabs.
Yay, yay, hooray.
Have we had
Um,
like a Mr.
what?
Krabs and Larry dynamic yet? Because that seems like really funny.
I think
I
we probably
we
have.
haven't seen a lot of them, honestly. Like, we've had episodes with Mr. Krabs and like Larry taking his place. Like, Larry takes
Oh,
his
right.
place in the checkup, so Mr. Krabs doesn't have to get a checkup because Larry's in
Oh.
peak condition. And Larry takes over the Krusty Krab in Larry the Floor Manager. Both of these
God.
are season 11 episode, but like, I don't think the two interact much.
Hey,
It's mostly
well,
just. I think
I
they
think
interact a little in Larry's gym.
yeah, where
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Krabs is trying to get his money's worth out of it.
Mhm.
I remember that much from it.
Yeah, I heard that one. I forgot they give Larry so much later on.
It's crazy to think that Larry and Bubble Bass are like the biggest winners of like characters that get not much in the
I mean, I
classic
think
era.
Larry has kind of just comfortably stayed at a certain level. Like,
I mean, he gets focus episodes now, and that feels a lot different to me.
Yeah.
It used to be that we had like living like Larry and SpongeGuard on duty, and that's it.
Oh god.
I wasn't even in that SpongeGuard on duty that much, but you know.
Right.
He's a very much a supporting character, and I don't think he can lead a story all that well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's like getting stories now, though, and that's impressive to me. I guess his like issues got worked out.
Yeah. He
He
worked
got
out
his
issues.
gym.
He did.
So-
he got like a big status quo change. That's so
Yeah,
weird.
he did. So
so
what's
in
the next one?
295. Oh, do we go on to the next episode now?
Like, no, I mean, like, next in the season 14 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. SpongeBob and this is 295A. It's called We Heart Hoops. SpongeBob and Patrick discover that their favorite kelp bed kid is a familiar face. So,
What
a
the
little
fuck?
bit of
That's-
background.
What?
Apparently, in one of the spin-off shows, they reveal that Old Man Walker, this specific guy, and I could have sworn that in earlier episodes he was one of the many Old Men Jenk. I kind of
What?
don't like that they settled on a single
Oh!
Old Man Jenkins.
This is
I felt
Old Man
like the
Jenkins.
Are we?
Yeah,
are
so
we
I
it's
getting
felt like the
focuses
joke
around?
was sort of that every old man is Old Man Jenkins, and trying to make just one of them Old Man Jenkins, I'm not a huge fan of it. But
Yeah.
I guess he
I
had history as a kid named Hoops, and they have a picture of
feel
that
like
here.
We've gone
I
too
I don't
far
have
when we're
any
making
thoughts
spotlight
on this
episodes.
episode. I don't
about
have any
Green
thoughts
Old
on
Man
this
Incidental.
episode because this is
Please.
not a character I have like any investment in.
This is like I hate that he's an Old Man Jenkins because to me this is like the Old Man Jenkins. He's the funniest
I
Old Man they have.
100% agree.
But I guess now he's Old Man Walker, also named Hoops.
Da, 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 da.
Uh,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Running out of
I'll miss
episodes
how you
ideas
once
ass
were.
episode.
I'll miss you, Green Old Man Incidental. You'll always be Old Man Jenkins to me.
Yeah.
All right, what's the
Cool.
next one?
295B, Sponge Chovy. It's invasion of the faux chovies when everyone in Bikini Bottom suddenly starts meeping.
Oh, this is such a fan service episode.
Oh god.
Like,
I
they
mean,
know
there's
the
some
audience
very
crave-
fan servicey episodes in this list. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that in advance.
I'm
but-
excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
So,
they
like,
already?
the anchovies have their own language and shit. We're gonna have to get Jan Misali to do a Conlang critic episode on the anchovy language.
God, I mean, I'd be a bit excited for that.
The
Yeah.
consonants for this language are m, p. That's it. It's a very minimalist inventory.
Very, very economical, I think.
Yeah.
But didn't they? Is this like another Invasion of the Body Snatchers parody? Didn't they already do like 3 of these already?
Yeah, like there was the...
They did one of them in season 8, and they've done like other horror movie parodies. I actually generally really like the horror movie parody episodes. They should do more of them.
What's our next one?
Next
Yeah,
one
what's the-
is 296A, Bassword. Squidward and Bubble Bass
Oh,
are forced
man.
to tolerate each other's company on a trip to Shell City. So this one's
This one-
interesting in a few ways. I think...
Tell City.
So personally, I think this one has potential. I think it's weird they suddenly made Bubble Bass a thing, but he's also a character who I always kind of felt should be a thing, because
Yeah.
his introduction episode makes him feel like this big SpongeBob rival that we'd be seeing a lot more of, and then he gets like 2 cameo appearances in season 1 and completely disappears until season 8.
The thing is, like, I like as a kid, I like wanted him to be a thing because I thought it would be cool if SpongeBob had another rival, and they made him a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it became just entirely like gross fat guy nerd jokes, and I regretted
Yeah.
him being a thing.
And here's
That's kind of how I feel. I wish they didn't make him comic book guy. I guess SpongeBob can have a comic book guy, but I wish they played up the rival angle more.
Yeah,
If
just him
they
being like
wanted
a
to do
weird
that-
snob who's just like kind of like pushy and a jerk.
Why not bring
Yeah.
back Kevin the Sea Cucumber?
Kevin is like a way better version now. I'm like Kevin pilled now.
Yeah.
And
I think
about
they
this
do have
premise.
Kevin in some episodes, actually.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've looked at his wiki page because I'm such a Kevin head, and I know that he comes back.
Like, I still think having these 2 characters that both kind of hate SpongeBob but can't stand each other is fun. So
Mhm.
I'll have, but I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
kind
like
of whatever on.
you could take the scenario a little bit further, make it more characters that hate SpongeBob too. Like just have a
They had that episode in season 13, the Seaman Sponge Haters Club. It's like also Mrs. Puff and Plankton are there, I think.
Yeah, it feels like an episode they'd have done by now.
Yeah.
and also didn't the Simpsons do an episode kind of like this where Chalmers and Skinner do a road trip and they can't stand each other, but they
I
come to
mean,
become friends.
Probably.
there's a lot of episodes and a lot of shows where characters don't like each other but go on a road trip. There are like entire movies about that.
Anyway,
Also,
I'm
like, we
curious
talk about-
about Shell City.
Yeah. This is surprising you didn't mention that yet. Shell City.
Yeah.
Like,
Are they gonna
that's
retcon
interesting.
that?
That's a SpongeBob lore location, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna like go to the surface or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really... Huh.
Why are they gonna go to a site of like death and killing on like
Mhm.
willingly?
I don't know.
Scary. I don't want that for them.
Maybe Bubble Bass is just a sick fucking freak.
Bubble Bass is one of those like true crime guys.
Go
Season
on.
17 episode Bubble Bass Kills. It's exactly what the title would imply.
I mean, if anyone would, it'd be him. What's next?
Gwen, can you post that
Okay,
in,
so
like, a
remember
different
how I
format?
said some of these episodes
Okay.
are very fan servicey?
Mm-hmm.
296B, Squidiot box. Squidward takes a trip inside
Oh,
the
come
imagination
on.
box and must rely on SpongeBob and Patrick's creativity in order to escape.
I saw that
So-
one and I cringed so bad.
Yeah.
What are we
Sounds
doing?
like
So,
so missing the
it's
point
like
of the episode.
Something they're doing for this season is because it is the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob, they're doing some sequel episodes.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Aren't they doing like a sequel episode to like a mid-series episode in this block, or am I like misremembering?
I'm not sure. I know that, I was kind of whatever on the season 11 Doodle Bob sequel episode. Like, it's fine because that's a premise that naturally opens up to a lot of jokes, and I kind of feel this episode might be the same way, but it's kind of like, why would I watch this one if it's just a slightly weaker version of Doodle Bob, and Doodle Bob is already a great episode when I could just be watching that episode. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like if you're going to do a sequel episode, you really have to have a good spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like this is like a really. It sounds like a more straightforward version of Idiot Box. Idiot Box is like, I don't know. It isn't about like. It feels like so tacky having to be like, oh, but he goes into the actual imagination land, and then there's a big adventure there.
Yeah.
I'm unexcited.
Didn't we also do like an episode where they go to like a magical weird place?
Yeah.
Like pretty recently?
There's a few of those. There's Squidward in Clarinet Land and SpongeBob in Random Land. So,
We'll get to those.
character name in X Land, I think, is another episode format. Look forward to season 18, where we'll get Patrick in Paddy Land.
Let's wait until we get Larry in Defense Land.
God.
Okay, well, what's next?
297B, Don't Make Me Laugh. SpongeBob suddenly finds everything funny, much to everyone's annoyance, and I'm putting my foot down. This is just funny pants again, I'm pretty sure.
This episode.
Yeah.
Or,
They didn't even
like-
change it.
God.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. That is literally just funny pants.
and that episode's kind of mid-bob, so I don't know. If you can
Yeah.
do it better, maybe, but I don't know if this will be massively better.
I think that was the one I was thinking about. That was kind of like a reminiscent one of like a mid-series thing. It's not a full-on sequel, but it's like it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How many more episodes are?
298.
Wait, how many more episodes are there in the list?
6.
All right.
It's
Okay.
like not a huge list, but
I want to
it's-
make sure we don't
it's-
like spend too much time on this, but yeah, we can do
Yeah.
the rest.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, 298. Momageddon. The Krusty crew get lazy when their moms take over the Krusty Krab. That's kind of a mid premise to me.
That sounds
I'm
really
like,
sexist.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
It sounds
That
like a
one's-
Fairly Odd Parents season 5 episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much to discuss with that one. 298B, Pet the Rock. Patrick's new pet rock catches the eye of a mischievous rock collector. Now, this one I think has potential, but I think Patrick's a very hit or miss character in these recent seasons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
I think when Patrick gets good episodes, they're pretty good, but you kind of have to get a coin flip, and if it lands tails, you get Pat the horse or something.
God.
He's mad at him.
Yeah.
Every time Mr. Krabs says what?
I'm hovering over it. It says money.
Oh. What's
Yeah.
the next one?
Patrick tries to open a jar. What? Okay, I'm opening this in a new tab for like later.
That's
for,
an
like,
episode
after
in
the
season
podcast.
19, by the way. It's just called Patrick Tries to Open a Jar.
Can't wait.
No, okay. This is a weird thing. I'm just gonna go over this after the podcast. I have it open in a new tab. We'll see what this is. Anyway, later.
Okay.
What's the next thing?
Waltzing Wackos. Plankton and Karen take dance lessons and quickly become top of the class. Now, this one I am sort of interested in, because I like Plankton and I like what they've done with Karen in recent seasons. So,
Yeah.
I think getting an episode for them is pretty fun. Just an episode about their relationship
Yeah.
and shit.
I was gonna say, I feel like they haven't
one
made
has-
that many episodes about like them being a romantic couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like in most of them, it's Karen just kicking Plankton out of the house. Like that's 3 separate episodes now.
Yeah.
So I think one where they're just like a genuinely happy couple, I think could be fun. I'm
Hopefully.
interested.
I feel like Plankton especially is one of the more like consistently good characters in the later series.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And they've done good work with Karen recently. Like, I've mentioned it before, I think that I don't know if she was a fully formed character until, like, season 11.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have these early seasons where she's a literal plot device, and then in the mid-seasons, she's just kinda your typical nagging wife trope.
Right.
So, I think that in the recent seasons, they've kind of made Karen like an actual character, and I love that for her. And
Yeah.
I want to get more Karen spotlights, so put this one down as one of the ones I'm more optimistic for.
Mm-hmm.
So 290. Oh wait, I skipped one. I'm sorry. I
Uh-oh.
skipped 297A. Blood is thicker than grease. Plankton's family opened their own restaurant directly next to the chum bucket.
So we're getting the Plankton's Army sequel, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm glad
kinda
for
like
more
the
hillbilly
premise, though.
jokes!
Oh god.
I'm so excited.
I hope you guys like the Twitter poll.
They decided on that episode because of the Twitter poll.
Yeah, they saw you all love Plankton's family, and they're giving you
Spoiler
what you
alert.
want.
There's another hillbilly episode. They're in
Oh,
the
joy.
season.
Trench Phillies 2, let's go.
Unfortunately, it's not the Trench Billies. It's Plankton's family again and the fucking narwhals I hate. I have never
You
seen a
serious?
single episode with the narwhals in them.
Me neither.
And I don't know them. But what I do know is I hate their designs so much. Oh my god. They are like 2 of the worst character designs on SpongeBob, I
They're
think.
just so bad
They're
to look at.
horrible.
Put them on screen so
so-
people know.
Hold on.
But why? Yeah, I'll just skip ahead to that one, so
They're just
because
just
we've already
people.
mentioned it.
they're just gross
SpongeBob, Patrick,
people.
300B in the mood to feud. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy find themselves in the middle of a long-standing feud between the
Ugh.
narwhals and the planktons.
Why are they doing 2 Plankton Army sequels, and why is one of them involving fucking
Like-
narwhals?
That's what's confusing me a bit, because Plankton's Army, I think... I mean, it's like a good episode, but it's not like a great episode that everyone's like, oh, you know one of the best episodes of the classic years? Plankton's Army.
I feel like Plankton's family isn't even like an especially funny part of Plankton's Army.
Yeah.
I didn't like watch the episode and be like, man, Plankton's family were hilarious. I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
I wonder how they would interact with the narwhals.
God.
Funny joke about where Mr. Krabs scares them all away by showing them the fake formula, and the one just stands there.
That
And
one's gonna be the main character of both of these episodes, by the way.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a running joke where he can't read.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, it's gonna be so nostalgia.
But us true Trench Phillies believers, we don't get anything. We're not rewarded for our dedication.
You know, what if like the Planktons and the narwhals have a big fight, and then over the horizon a third group rises?
The triumphant
We could
return.
be rewarded with novelty hillbilly teeth, but we get nothing.
God.
become a Tommy-like character, but for the Trench Billies.
God. Oh.
That's the title of a season 20 episode, by the way. They're just gonna make an episode called Novelty Hillbilly Teeth.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, we have 2 more episodes to talk about. 299B, Necro Nom Nom Nomicon, equipped with a magical spellbook. SpongeBob cooks up chaos in the Krusty Krab kitchen. seems kind of neat, but at the same time, I think they already did a SpongeBob gets a weird magical artifact and doesn't know how to use it in season
Yeah.
10 with right in trouble.
This
SpongeBob
feels kind of
summons
trite.
the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if they can do a different spin on it, sure, whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah.
This feels like a concept we've seen before. But that's also just, I think, a thing about the series running for so long. Just
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one.
last one. It's another one of those sequel episodes. PL 1413. Plankton travels 2,000 years into the future and finds a few unfamiliar faces.
Well,
Whatever.
Mm,
I watched this
Whatever.
episode when I was like
Well,
5.
We'll see. We'll see
We'll
what they do with it.
I like, as we've said, Plankton can be a generally pretty fun character, so maybe they'll get something out of making him the guy that goes to the future, but overall, there's not like a huge amount of exciting things in this list. There are some I think have potential, but
Yeah.
we'll see it in a few years, I'm sure.
Mhm.
yeah, we just have to wait a decade and we'll be talking about the 50 hillbilly episodes.
Yeah, we'll be covering hit episode Novelty Hillbilly Teeth.
God.
I think that they're just. You know how when you look at an iceberg, you can only see a little bit above the ocean? This list of
Mhm.
episodes is the bit of the iceberg you can see, and underneath the ocean is where you get all of the other episodes from this season, which are all hillbilly.
Okay. Any last things from the mid bit?
I think that's it, right?
Alrighty. We move on to
So-
our second episode.
Are we ready to go to boating school?
Yes.
You're supposed to respond with "I'm ready, Randall." Like the Bob.
Fine!
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Fine! I'm ready!
I'm
more
not
like it.
ready.
I'm ready.
What is wrong with you? So anyway, we're going to boating school. I think it's fitting that we review this episode as I am learning to drive right now.
Oh, me
Nice.
too.
Right? Nice.
Yeah.
So, we start this episode and SpongeBob wakes up fully clothed with his
Yeah.
shoes and everything.
Yeah,
That
he
is like the first thing I noticed here.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. That's been really uncomfortable. And then we get
Yeah.
the legendary large calendar.
I love the large calendar. How many episodes is it in?
Yeah, the live
feel-
calendar is so badass.
I feel like it's in the movie, right?
Yeah, it's in the movie. It's in this episode. Is it in Help Wanted?
I
I think not.
no, I don't think so.
Hmm.
And something I've noticed about these first few episodes is just how many contraptions SpongeBob has in his home.
Yeah, he has the trap door. I like how he has a
He's
ladder
so Wallace
for the
and
calendar.
Gromit core here.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm gonna miss this aspect of his character
Yeah.
when it eventually is
Yeah.
abandoned. Yeah, and then we get a small Squidward cameo.
Hmm.
He gets to be here.
He gets to be here.
He gets to be
After
A
here.
bit.
After we're introduced to SpongeBob's iconic unicycle.
I love SpongeBob's unicycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cute.
But we don't get it for long because SpongeBob immediately throws it in the dumpster
Oh, he doesn't need
because
it
he doesn't
anymore.
need it anymore. He's gonna learn to drive.
Yeah.
That's not right. He needs it.
He didn't mean it, unicycle. He was in the heat of the moment.
And then we see boating school.
This is Puff's boating school.
Yeah.
We are going to meet her,
Oh,
the
God.
Puff. So the first thing I
first-
noticed here is this boat passing by and how it just sort of overlaps everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, a blaring fuck up in the background.
God. Woo, woo, woo.
And then we meet the biggest bastard in the entire series.
Yeah, voiced
Hey,
by
I doubt
Mr.
it, guy.
Lawrence. Hey, I doubt it, guy.
SpongeBob was so excited. He had it in the bag, and I think this guy sabotaged him, got in his head.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I think he was correct. I don't know what this guy's fucking issue was though. Does he even know SpongeBob, or is he just?
I don't think so.
I think he's just a huge jerk.
Hey, I doubt it.
It's just like gonna focus episode where he learns karate.
Doubt defense. Can we make that the episode title? Doubt defense.
Sure.
Defense definitely needs to be in the title.
All right, so we meet Mrs. Puff, and we get a very strong opening impression where we see SpongeBob literally just bouncing around outside, and she's just like, "I'm not ready." Just something I've quoted a bunch already.
Yeah.
We talk about how like Sandy is so like off in these early episodes. It feels like she doesn't get a lot of focus when she should, and Karen is basically not a character. But Mrs. Puff is like really like on the ball right out the gate.
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's something that stuck out to me. We have our first female character who they just nailed day one. Which is
Like-
interesting given like she was a pretty late addition to the show. Like she
Mhm.
basically solely exists because a bunch of executives wanted SpongeBob to be a kid who goes to school, and Steven Hillenburg really didn't want that. So Mrs. Puff was his
Yeah.
compromise, and but like he still wanted Mrs. Puff to be a fun character.
Yeah,
She
she's
is.
very
Whoa,
funny.
what the
He did.
Why does he look
Mrs.
like this
Puff
here?
is-
Hold on. He's like a creature here.
He's such a creature there.
I do think it's interesting how I feel like the result is like saying, I wonder how like relatable the boarding school stuff is to kids, because I didn't really like. It feels like it's a little less relatable than him just not going to school at all, because a lot of kids like I feel like I appreciate this stuff more now that I've gone to driving school and can drive.
Yeah.
This feels very hyper specific to like somebody on the crew who probably went through this like a bunch. It just kind of reads that way to me.
Yeah, it's weird that Nickelodeon saw this and was like, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
They just saw a teacher and were like, that's enough.
But Mrs. Puff is one of probably the more underrated characters. Like she doesn't really get the recognition she deserves in the
Yeah, she's
Series.
pretty good.
Yeah, she's just really funny. It's really funny having a character that like she like is similar to Squidward in that she's a really good foil to SpongeBob and that she's just incredibly depressed. But while like Squidward is like seething with rage, Mrs. Puff just kind of like wallows in misery.
Oh. So yeah, SpongeBob
She's
gets
a lot more
in the
melancholy.
boat. SpongeBob gets in the boat. Oh no, wait.
Well, we're
skipped
not there
over
yet.
the-
He needs
Yeah.
we need to talk about the
1924.
Yeah.
test. He's so good at this test.
hmm
The impression that he's just done it multiple times, just knows all the answers off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I mean, this is his 37th, 30th time taking the test, so of course you know.
So yeah, he answers all that, and then they get in the boat, and SpongeBob looks out, and we get like season 5 looking ass, like digital filled. I don't know.
Something
Wow.
something that I like. It's from it relates to this episode. It's like you actually in Lights Camera Pants get to drive the entire driving course, and it's just a pretty neat thing that they let
Nice.
you do.
Cool.
I like that. But SpongeBob is a mess behind the wheel, which
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to because I still don't have my license and am terrified to drive.
Yeah, I only have
Mhm.
my
I
learners.
felt that like the first time I was learning to drive, and then every other time I've taken the wheel, I have just been a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't relate because I'm good at driving and also really handsome. So, skill issue, SpongeBob. Anyway, he floors it.
Yeah.
He floors it.
Floor it!
And we get to see...
Floor it!
We need to talk about the most baffling part of the show so far to me, which is the green guys in the stands.
Yes. Green guys. Hold on.
Why-
What is their
first off-
deal?
Why are there stands? Why is this like a spectator sport where people are watching these driving tests? Second off, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Third of all, what the fuck is half shell?
Like make it bigger. I want to go into detail on these guys. Like they all look like the same, but like variations of each other. They have such like horrified faces. Some of them have like these weird like fins sticking out in front of them that look really weird.
I wanna know their story so bad.
I want to know why the fuck
We
they're
learn
here.
about them in season 25 episode.
Green
Fish
defense.
Defense.
What? It's just like I cannot like wrap my mind around these entities.
They
Hmm.
It's the idea of these like nude green fish sitting in a stand watching these people take their driving test for seemingly no reason.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they're on the incidental model sheet. And I don't know if they've ever been in more than one. Yeah, they're incidental 50 just as a set. Hold
Yeah.
on.
They're all just
They
one
are
guy.
selectively
oh, this is
incidental
a cute art of them.
It's like
It
Kirby Mass
really
Attack.
is.
He's just split up. Oh yeah, let me put that
This is
on
like
screen.
a hive mind. Oh, they're supposed to be like fins they're holding in front of them, so they're like
Oh.
waving in the air. But the animator made it look really fucking weird.
God.
They look so happy here. What happened to them?
They got killed.
They got traumatized.
Their
They
lives
got
were never the
traumatized by
same.
SpongeBob's bad driving.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the
Like,
ideal
they're-
form.
They're jumping for joy. They're singing a song.
They're fucking ecstatic here. They're off the walls. And now they're just...
Their smile and optimism gone.
One of them has lips in the episode, but not in the model sheet. That's
You
one
got
of the things I
Botox.
noticed.
Anyway, he crashes into the lighthouse. And
Yeah.
Oh,
We get our first
SpongeBob.
ever My Leg.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the first my
Yeah.
leg. This is historic.
Yeah.
Do you think it's? Do you think Fred is one of those green fish in the stands, and we just don't know?
I don't think so, because we see Fred later. And he
Yeah.
looks very Fred-like.
Yeah. But that's an interesting thing. Like, I don't want to get too far ahead, but should we just talk about Fred's appearance later in this episode?
We
Let's
should
just
probably
say-
save it.
yeah, save that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say that this was the first of many my legs.
Mhm.
It's interesting because during the episode called My Leg, it starts with a throwback to this episode, but we actually get to see Fred get his leg broken.
Yeah. But
Uh,
then we get to see him walking around fine in this one. So what the hell?
He got
I mean, he
healed.
has a cane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh my god. This is foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. We're getting season 11 foreshadowing here.
Oh.
Oh god, I forgot SpongeBob makes such a weird, ugly face when he's in bed and he's like
This whole
coping.
scene, SpongeBob looks fucked up.
I
Gary-
love
Gary's
Gary's.
boots.
Gary's boots are so
like-
funny.
I think it's like the first episode where Gary gets to be like a real character, where he just gets to like be like talkative and SpongeBob understands him, and he just does like weird, unexplained stuff that SpongeBob just rolls with. Gary's a fun little character, and it's fun to see him start to come out of his shell, pun intended.
Yeah.
Really makes it.
Is it fair for me to say that Gary is the Maggie of SpongeBob?
I think he gets more focused than Maggie, really.
Yeah. But he's like the main character who doesn't get to talk and doesn't get to be much of a character, but he's still part of the main cast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like this scene because it's like it slows down a little bit and you get a little tone, and I appreciate that.
It's a very chill scene.
Mhm.
And SpongeBob just sleeps with a walkie-talkie in his bed.
Just in case you talk to... We have like 2 episodes where SpongeBob and Patrick talk long distance.
One of them is a positive experience, the other one is
they-
not.
They both kind of go wrong. Maybe this is just like warning against like the dangers of like mass communication.
Yeah.
And then Patrick tells SpongeBob to come down to the closet, and we get the first appearance of the library.
Yeah, another historic occasion, his study.
And we get
Yeah.
introduced to a new character we've never seen before.
Who could it
He's
be?
in the closet.
He sure is.
Hold on, let me get it picked. I can't believe he doesn't have like his own wiki article. He should really, they're doing him a disservice.
What was he doing in SpongeBob's closet, and why did we never see him again? When's his focus episode?
Why did he immediately disappear?
I think we should donate the money to the nuclear plant.
Yeah.
That's what. Before we talk more about Patrick SquarePants, I want to talk more about study because it's such like a cool location we get to see very seldomly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's so like big and
Yeah.
sprawling. It feels like such a like N64 platformer level.
Yeah!
I've always wanted to like explore it.
You do go
The
in at
study-
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
It's not in a lot of episodes. It's in this one. It's in Something Smells. It's in Glove World R.I.P. And it's in Library Cards, which is mostly set in here.
Also, I think it's kind of inconvenient for SpongeBob to have his closet so far out of the way in his library.
Yeah.
that he has to go down his slide to get to. But also, like,
What other
how does his closet relate to the pants room dimension, do you think?
I feel like it's a more tangible location for when
Yeah.
SpongeBob doesn't really want to go through the whole like process of putting his
Mhm.
pants on that way.
Yeah. There's probably lore here, but I don't think we have enough puzzle pieces to piece it together. So let's just move on to
Definitely not.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Square.
I love SpongeBob's little. Don't do that, Patrick.
Yeah.
I like that Patrick just broke and entered into his house in the middle of the night.
It's a little out of pocket, as they say.
Yeah. What
But
was your
SpongeBob's
favorite
just so
most-
sad in this episode. He's so down on himself.
He's very dour in the start here. It's a very melancholy.
And then they get an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another like season 1 Patrick Bad Influence episode that I think is so very fun.
Yeah.
Because Patrick sticks a walkie-talkie in his ear and turns him into Reddit.
Yeah.
He kills a shmoo. I mean, it's snoo. Shmoo is something different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like,
Who's
I
this
mean,
hat for?
would it hurt?
It's a
Would it hurt
cartoon.
him? Would it hurt him? I don't want
Probably
him to be
not.
hurt.
I don't think he has like.
Punch.
He's a sponge. He can do whatever he wants.
Usually hats
There's
are
plenty
supposed
of
to,
room
like-
for. There's plenty of room for the walkie-talkie alongside his brain that rolls all over the place.
I mean, no, there's plenty of room because there's a brain he doesn't have.
Yeah. Hats are supposed to like fit over your head, right? Who is this hat for? Well, I guess Patrick, actually.
SpongeBob
Yeah.
does like wear a hat that doesn't entirely fit over his head when he goes to work.
True.
It's kind of hard to
True.
get square-shaped hats.
I
I
like
think he
to think,
has had a square cowboy hat, but I can't remember when. But yeah, this is definitely just Patrick's hat that he gave it to him.
Oh yeah, Patrick like is a bad influence here, and it's fun. We get to see like it's interesting that SpongeBob doesn't like realize he's cheating at first. I guess we can
Yeah.
get into that as the episode gets to its crescendo. Instead, we get to see SpongeBob's underwear, and he eats grass. We just get a series of like weird little jokes as he's just idling around waiting for Mrs. Puff to show up.
testing, do you read?
Test.
I like when
love
Mrs. Puff does show up. Like, do you want if you have anything else to talk about this scene?
I just like SpongeBob's lucky underpants and how.
Yeah.
They say lucky.
They-
Underwear.
Yeah.
I like when Mrs. Puff shows up. She just like spawns out of the passing by ambulance. She just like looks totally fine.
I like how she eats the apple in one bite.
Apple.
Girls
I-
gotta eat.
I like SpongeBob's "Here you go, ma'am."
Yeah.
Mrs. Puff is so cute in this episode.
She is.
Anyway,
And
we
I
get
love
another
her
like this is
hat.
another like showcase of Patrick's like set of skills where he's like good at driving, just as he's good at CPR.
do we ever see like Patrick actually drive in the show? At
We
any
do. We
point?
get a whole
We do,
episode about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, season 4, Driven to Tears.
Right, I
I'm
forgot
glad
about
I
that
can
one.
be our SpongeBob lore expert sometimes.
Yeah, I would not
I
have
forget
known.
that
Being able
episode's
to
name.
pull random episodes from mid-seasons off the top of my head.
Wait, that was a
Yeah.
season 4 one? I could have sworn that was like 6 or 7.
No,
It
yeah,
feels
that
a
was
lot
4.
later.
Season 4.
It's a very middling season 4 episode. Oh yeah, Patrick teaches SpongeBob all the tricks. We just get a pleasant little montage of everything going right and SpongeBob driving.
I like
Yeah.
I like the big toe bit.
Yeah,
I like
toe.
sort of the parallel to earlier in the episode where this time it's Mrs. Puff freaking
Yeah.
out in the boat
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of SpongeBob.
It's a very good
I
comedic
think-
little bit.
And I think it's just good characterization for Mrs. Puff. Like I
Mhm.
said it earlier. We said it earlier. They got her right from
Yeah.
episode 1.
Yeah.
Then we have a nice
Like
little
every other main
SpongeBob-
character that isn't named Sandy or Karen.
We have a big SpongeBob epic win montage.
It's a very pleasant sequence where it's like du-du-du-du-du-du-du. It's got some like funny visuals. We get Patrick reading SpongeBob's diary, which is some nice foreshadowing for Little Yellow Book.
We get this. We get
Oh my god, it's all
a,
coming from this.
We get this
I-
flag, which I don't know if the is this like actually anything. Like I,
It looks like
I-
the same
let me-
flag that's on the Krusty Krab, actually.
is,
Or at
it
least
is.
Let
one
me
of
look
them.
up like maritime flags.
Yeah. I
Okay,
yeah,
noticed
like
that
what are
before.
those flags? Anyway, yeah, montage.
We see Fred in this montage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No doubt reeling from his planned ahead injury.
Oh yeah, I need to.
Yeah,
Post the,
please put up the Mrs. Puff face.
Yeah. Hold on.
I can't find what that flag is, if anything, but please know I was only very quick in
There
my
we
search
go.
there, so.
She's so
Yes.
happy.
I love how happy she is about this.
Yeah! Oh, wait, here it
Oh.
is. Here it is. It is I for India
Really?
in, like, the flag alphabet.
I love the
So
cutaways
that's
to
what that
Patrick.
flag is.
I love the cutaways to Patrick just fucking around in SpongeBob's
Yeah.
house.
Being a really bad friend to him.
Yeah.
putting on his clothes again, eating all his food, reading his diary.
Yeah, it's so good.
And coming after an episode where they become friends again.
Yeah.
And so SpongeBob's about to win. He's about to get the W on this one.
And then Mrs. Puff like correctly guesses the entire plot of the episode as a bit.
Yeah.
Because that would be cheating. And
then
Patrick
SpongeBob
is
for
just losing his mind.
Yeah. SpongeBob for the first time realizes he's cheating, which I think is an interesting showcase of how naive he is. And what I think is more interesting is when he starts freaking out, Patrick is like, cheating! And runs away, screaming. And like, I don't even know if he like...
that so much.
I don't know why he did that. Like, is he upset because he didn't realize he was cheating? Is he upset that like...
I think so.
He's just like, he just starts screaming and runs home.
Cheat that way!
That's... I love Mrs. Puff like... Cheat that way! I think it's funny that even in her first appearance, like I figured that kind of thing would be like the escalation of Mrs. Puff over time, where she'd like be so desperate after a while that she wants SpongeBob to just like graduate at any cost. But in the first appearance, she's just telling him to cheat.
Yeah,
it's okay to cheat.
I mean, we have no free rides in season 2, which. Is kind of an escalation of that concept, I think.
Yeah.
But I love so much that they established from this first episode that Mrs. Puff doesn't exactly have the most integrity.
Yeah, she's a very unscrupulous character. Maybe it's not much of a stretch that she tries to kill this guy later on.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I just found funny animation error.
If anything, they've just been playing up her extensive criminal past recently. Like,
I don't know if that is an animation error. It kind of looks like a weird lighting thing they were trying to do with the rock.
Like shading, yeah.
Because they did the same shiny rock thing in Plankton too.
I think Mrs. Puff might be like low-key one of my favorite characters. She's so funny.
She is.
She's just like a beleaguered...
She killed her husband.
Just this like beleaguered middle-aged woman who has depression, but is also like completely amoral.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mrs. Puff, I think I cheated.
and I noticed that like in the scene where like they're struggling to get to the finish line, they're reusing a lot of animation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was funny.
I didn't notice that much because I was busy processing. Like, just frantic screaming here is really captivating.
Yeah.
It's very well executed.
Yeah, I was looking for it, and a quote from a season 13 episode. I love talking to someone who knows how to keep a secret. I can finally tell someone what really happened when I pulled that job in Shell City. And like, we have the one-off gag about her husband being turned into a lamp.
God, the lore all fits together.
Shit.
Yeah!
We're getting the puzzle pieces. We get the debut of the other funny green guys, the scary-looking hospital men.
Yeah.
Yeah!
I notice every incidental fish in this episode is green.
Yeah, this is a very green episode.
Yeah.
We get a Doubt It guy.
Fred's brown.
Our favorite little group
enough.
of incidentals.
I think the
like
only
the
non-green one I can
green
think of
crowd.
is these guys.
Well,
fuck those guys. They broke reality.
Yeah.
fuck 'em.
yeah. They don't matter. Look forwards to the season 29 episode. Green Hospital Fish Defense.
No,
Okay.
it's Mrs. Puff in Green Fish Defense Land.
And then Mrs. Puff gets taken away again, and SpongeBob's like, well, now I don't even have a bike. And then Gary shows up with the bike, and it's a sweet little moment. And he's like, let's go.
I love when SpongeBob's like, don't worry, Mrs. Puff, I'll try harder next semester. And Mrs. Puff just lets out this extremely distressed way.
Yeah, God, she's going through it.
I like this moment. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then SpongeBob's gonna go visit her in the hospital.
Just another kick in the shins for Mrs. Puff, presumably off screen. So that was boating school.
It was boating
Ah.
school.
Yeah.
A pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't say it's as good as Naughty Nautical Neighbors, but I still generally enjoyed it. I put it that it's like I almost considered giving it a 4, but I liked how they handled the characters, and while I don't think it has a lot of big laughs, it's consistently amusing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a lot of parts in this episode where I didn't see myself smiling and enjoying it, so I think it's like a 5 for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I'd actively go out of my way to watch very often, but if I'm putting Naughty Nautical Neighbors on, which I would go out of my way to watch, then having this one to follow it up, I'll watch it too. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
What
think
do
it
you give
was okay. I gave it a 6 out of 7. You know, it's a very, very good introduction to Mrs. Puff. I think, you know, good Patrick character episode as well. Just with, like, bad influence, but, like, very, you know, acting like cool, chill, or whatever. Like, being
Yeah.
the funny guy. And, yeah, just a really, I don't know how much better they could have handled the introduction to Mrs. Puff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very solid introduction to the boating school concept in Mrs. Puff as a character.
Yeah.
I gave this one like
Yeah.
a 4. This is like the definition of a 4 for me, where I don't think that has like any like particularly heavy hitting moments or gags to me. Nothing like super stands out as like, wow, this is an awesome, funny moment. But like, it's a consistently amusing episode that's very like easy to rewatch and very amusing. Has good character rating for like just all the guys involved. It's just an entertaining episode that isn't like super ambitious, and it hits like right in the middle of the road as a 4 for me.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a really solid episode. It didn't reinvent the formula or anything, but yeah, it's a really good Mrs. Puff introduction. She starts off strong and she keeps going strong as it goes on, and that's really nice to see.
Yeah.
It's just a nice little adventure with nice little moments and interactions between SpongeBob and Patrick. It's just an episode that you don't mind watching, one that sticks with you, and one that's just nice. So I gave it a 5 out of
Yeah.
7. Anybody got more to say about boating school?
I'm not sure if we do,
Not
and
really.
I'm not sure how did we wrap up this podcast for the previous few
We're
episodes.
just like, well, what are we gonna watch next time?
Yes. I don't
Well,
think we did that last episode, actually.
Yeah.
We did,
Well,
probably.
next week we're going to watch Pizza Delivery, so sorry,
Yes.
Naughty Nautical Neighbors, your time at the top is going to be very short-lived.
Yeah, that one is a strong one.
I think Home Sweet Pineapple, I remember also really liking that one, so I think we have some solid episodes to look forwards to next week.
I
Oh, yeah.
always misremember Home Sweet Pineapple as being a season 2 episode. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Either way, yeah, lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
We will glasses thing. You will have
Oh
glasses
yeah, I'm gonna
next
start
time.
wearing glasses on my
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Fun, important update for you all.
I will have
I
to
wear
update
glasses
this
now.
accordingly.
hmm
You're part of the club of the people who suffer
Yeah.
nonstop. I don't know life without glasses. It's been in my entire life.
It has been the past like 5 days.
I hope you've been enjoying it.
I hope you enjoy our new spin-off podcast on this channel,
The
the
guy with
Glasses,
the glasses.
Wearers Digest, starring only 2 of us.
Where we give you up-to-date info on all the best classes news going forward.
Yeah. Oh, you'll never
Okay.
fucking... Okay, right before we end off, you'll
Yeah.
never guess what I found in my YouTube recommendations again.
Yeah?
Uh,
There he is!
Yeah,
There he
You need to
is!
end as
I'm
it all
glad we
began.
got was this our first Squidward house destruction?
God, it was, wasn't
I
it?
mean,
Oh,
like the
yeah!
bubble stand is like half a Squidward house destruction.
Yeah, it just kind of got lifted up.
It's
Uh,
like
We got-
a proto Squidward house destruction.
Yeah, it's where it all stemmed. The idea of Squidward House slapstick.
But this is the one where they went all in.
Yeah.
we need to rank all of the Squidward house destructions from best to worst.
That
we
could
will-
be our next mid segment. How about?
We
Sure.
If we remember,
need-
look forward to that.
Yeah. We need something to end off on, so I'm gonna use my easy out, and I'm gonna go